Recently, I did a live stream where I showed off a lot of the stuff that was in development for my upcoming game, Action Coin Pusher. So this should go a lot better. Hopefully we'll be able to beat that first boss. Oh, hey Mango. Thanks for joining. You're thankful for the fact that I don't take away percentage from the refunds on upgrades. Yes, I do not like it when video games punish you because you didn't know what you were doing. Now, I have a live stream dashboard on my second monitor over here. After about 5 to 10 minutes of the game, it seems most people got kind of bored of it, which says to me that my game is fucking boring. Now, I don't mean the game is bad, and I'm sure there are a decent amount of people watching right now saying, what are you talking about, dude? That game looks great. What I mean is that while the long-term gameplay loop is fine, the short-term gameplay loop just isn't up to the standards of what I think a video game should be in the current year. It's just boring. So I set out to see what I could make, do, or add to my game with minimal code and assets that would improve this minute-to-minute gameplay loop and help keep player retention. I'm looking specifically for things that I could make or do just inside of Unity or hopefully with minimal code. Also, during this part of the real-life events, Factorio Space Age came out, and I lost 3 weeks of my life. And if you were wondering, I'm 150 hours into my save, and I'm about to land on Aquilo. So anyway, when I woke up from my factory-induced coma, I had some ideas for how to fix my game. First up, the target reward system. If you played the demo or you watched the live stream, you might understand how the system works, but chances are you didn't pick up on anything during gameplay because there is absolutely no player feedback about these things. There is very little indication that the target even spawned. Most players didn't even notice the target was there, and then when they did hit it, they were often asking, what did that even do? Even knowing that each target spawns a barrel wasn't enough, because oftentimes there's so much going on the screen that you can't even look and identify where the barrel spawned. I tried to fix this by adding a particle system to the barrel whenever it spawns, but it's just not enough. In an attempt to fix two problems at once, I took a page from the mobile game handbook, and I made targets huge so they're easy to see, with the reward floating right there in the center. When you hit the target, it shatters into a bunch of little pieces, and the reward comes flying out of the back of it, so that you know clearly what happened. And from there, it was just adding a couple of new reward types and then setting up the odds. Alright, second on my list, I need some more high-interest moments. While the core gameplay loop I think does pretty well, it does get kinda stale after a little while. So for this I looked at the grandfather of Action Coin Pusher, Halls of Torment. Here in Halls of Torment, breaking crates and barrels sometimes spawns a golden slime who loves to slide around and shit out gold everywhere. For my game, I made a golden bauble that spawns rarely and drops 50 to 100 coins when you kill it. I also made this gem variant, but I don't really know what to do with that guy. I'm not super happy with how he looks. And finally, in the future after release, elemental damage is something that I want to add to the game alongside a new class, the Druid. I also want to introduce another source of randomness here. I want to make it so that equipment can add elemental status to your coins, but there needs to be a way for the player to know what their next coin is, if that could happen, right? It would be kind of frustrating if you had no idea if your next coin was going to be a fire coin or what. So this time, looking at Tetris, I came up with the idea of a coin chute, for lack of a better way to describe it. Coins spawn up here, then they slide down to here to be fired by you, the player. While I may not be adding elemental damage types to the game today, I am adding a system that would allow me to add custom new coins pretty easily with pretty minimal code. To test this system, I took the old bomb ability that I made back in the early prototype, ripped the code out of that, merged it with the code that I've made recently, and boom, here we are. The resulting system allows me to add custom coin types relatively easily with minimal code and effort, and they just work. Now, I had a few ideas for what to do with this system, but I was struggling to come up with some new ones. I had the basic stuff like fire, ice, pretty simple stuff. So I turned to Blue Sky and Threads and asked for input from you guys. And boy, was I surprised with the reaction. I had a lot of ideas. In particular, Codelect on Threads submitted their notes, and I had to spend like 20 minutes with this, just thinking about all the different ways that I could implement these. If you have coin ideas, please send them my way. I'm always looking for new ones. So I spent the next week creating the visuals, the animations, all of the little bits and bobs that make up the coin system, and here we are. Now, I'm just going to run through these coins real quick. We got Fire, which is your standard damage over time. We got Acid, which is a lower damage but faster ticking dot that does bonus damage to armor. We got Sleep, which turns the enemy AI off temporarily. Vampire, which is health steal. Ice, freeze them in place. I didn't finish that one. Lightning, zap a whole cluster. And finally, my favorite of them all, Black Hole. I actually spent 2 days on this one, and I am just so proud of it. All of these changes took me around 2 weeks to implement, and I think that they really improved the gameplay. I am hopeful that players will enjoy them, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the cool clips that people come up with. That's all I got for you. This is the end of the video. Subscribe if you like the video. Like it if you've already subscribed. Wishlist Action Coin Pusher if you haven't already. Watch my other stuff. Follow me on Threads. I don't really go on Instagram anymore. I'm on Blue Sky now. Come join me over there. And that's all. Have a good day.